Hello, viewers. I am your mentor, Muhammad Tariq, and we are going to start with a new subject that is supposed to be the heart of civil engineering, and that is surveying. So, right in the beginning, just to inform you, this is the block that has been created. It is being well updated, and especially the videos that you are getting, you'll get it over there on this block. You'll get some written matter. If it suits you, you can go ahead and even download it. Next is the YouTube channel that you're already following and you are all aware of, definitely. So I'll begin with the surveying part right away. Firstly, only I'll go through the minor things and the reasoning of survey along with some of its basics, and then slowly we'll proceed to the practical aspects of surveying. In between, as and when required, we'll cover up the theoretical part as well. My main motive is to be on the practical side. The theory part will go along with it. With the surveying part, and firstly we'll deal with the basics of surveying and the need of surveying. Now, what is civil engineering surveying? What does it involve? It involves the recording of details. Now, what details do we need here? Right? The details that we need over here is regarding the area and the land around or the surrounding area where we got to work out. Like, for example, we are going in for building up a road. So, when you go right in the beginning, what we'll find over there is that we have nothing else except a jungle over here. There's a forest over there. And that forest could be very thick. Now, before we get into any destruction, we have to look at the nature first. You must not forget that as an engineer, we are also the environment protectors. We have to protect the environment as well. That is a very essential and basic requirement of the hour. And of course, it holds equal importance in civil engineering. Now, what we get around over there is the amount of plants. Now, any plant or tree that is that has attained a life of about 10 to 15 years should not be cut down. Well, if it has to be cut down, you need to go to the authority, to the forest department, take the permission, cut it down, and instead you have to plant minimum 5 trees. Now, as I've said it, it's said very easily. Practically, it is not performed. And that is where we are lacking in the environmental engineering part. So, now we need all the details. So, any plants, trees that are attaining the age of 10 to 15 years or more, we should keep them safe. And the thickness will decide about the plant or the tree of its life. The thickness if it is above 30 centimeters to 45 centimeters, meaning that it has attained more than 8 years of life. So we ought to take care of it. These observations are taken up by many different methods of surveying, and they should be on the drawing sheet or the map which we are preparing. Now, one thing that is given over here is the three dimension. Now, what is the three dimensional view over here? The three dimension relationship between the different location. Now, it is meaning length, breadth, and height. So, if you have these three ordinates, that is the x, y, and z, so it is the simply the three-dimensional figure. Then what else do we get? We get to know the levels. Now from the levels, we can also define in the land in which side the water is going to flow. The flow or water can be determined from the catchment area, and this will help you to find where the water is being led to and to which side is being. I'm talking about a very vast land at present, right? When I'm talking about the catchment area, it means many water, many areas water is being collected towards the one stream, and that one stream is getting connected to many streams, and finally leading to an output and leading to a river somewhere or the other. So this is the procedure of the catchment area. For that we need to know the level. The lower the level, the water will flow that side. So this is all in this slide. Now we'll come down to the next slide. Now we'll come to the basics of surveying, right? Now here we have the measurements, then the calculation regarding measurement, then with that we produce the plan, and this is done at a particular specific location. Now the determination is of the heights and of distance, that is we are having the vertical distance right over here and the horizontal distance. And what is the output or the purpose? The purpose is to set out a building, a bridge, a road, or we have to take out a particular area, or we have to take out a particular volume, or to draw a plan of on a predetermined scale. We decide a scale as you must have done in some of your drawing classes. So now the principle of civil engineering is working from the whole part. It's the whole part that we are going to work on, right? Then the location of point of measurement, that is from we have 2 points and then we have a reference point, something like this, that you have one A point over here, right? Then you have a B point over here, and now you've got to take out the difference of the level of these two. And this is normally done when we are taking out the level. So we take out with the reference to the MSL, that is the mean sea level. If we are not using the mean sea level, then we only assume that this point has a height of about 100 or 200 or anything that is known as a benchmark, and with respect to that we take out the level 2 for the A point and for the B point or between any 2 points, whatever the distance may be. So it is consistent work. This is the consistency or the work efficiency which is being done continuously, independently, and of course, the most important thing, the accuracy is required in it. So these are the basics of our surveying part. Now we'll come to the types of survey, that is basically in civil engineering. Then in this we have the chain survey, we'll be doing it. Then we have the plane table, the compass, then we have the tachometric survey. In this we have to form a triangle, normally an isosceles triangle. We have created an angle over here, and that angle is being led over here as well as this side over here, right? So from this a point, two angles are emerging, and we have this center point as A, from where the ray is emerging. So if you noticed that over here I have written D1 and then D2, and then the distance that varies over here is of course x1 and x2. So with the help of trigonometrical ratio we can easily take out these distances, and this is with the help of isosceles triangle where we have similar triangles. So the first triangle formation is AX1, right, and the other one is AX2, right. So with the help of these two sides we can easily take out the distances. And as far as this is concerned, we have the perpendicular, we have the vertex, we have the base shown in the triangle. So this is dealing with the principle of tachometry survey. Then we have theodolite, we have that, we'll go through it. Then elevation and level, this is with the help of a leveling instrument. We can take out even the vertical and of course the horizontal surface as well, and this may deal with something like this is being the ground level, so you will not find the surface to be very flat everywhere, of course. So if you place up our instrument somewhere over here, then what we do is when we take the level, this will be our line of sight, and some levels could go down. So when we are putting some instrument to note down the reading over here will come higher. That means that the surface is in a depression zone over here, right? So this is how we'll go up to these things. Now we'll come to those survey which we talk about very often. Here again we have the types of survey. One is the photographic or the aerial survey. What happens over here in the aerial survey is we take out the distance direct from this point. There are houses that been built or anything, but the distance that are taken into account is the direct distance. So this is the aerial distance. This is the ray which is moving, and this is also called as the aerial distance. This is normally those people who are having network work, like for example reliance on these people, they take out the aerial distances. What is the aerial distance where you can get your network? So this is for them, right? Then we have different methods of doing survey, uh, chain survey, etc., what we said. And there are some more surveys which we talk about, which are uh, heard about mostly on our TV channels and other media sources. There's some online survey. Certain product is good. They're surveying it. Do you like it or you don't like it, right? Then you interview a person, you find out, okay, okay, there's an election we are talking about, who's going to win. Then it's a group focus, right? A group of section of people are going to give their views about it. Then panel sampling, right? They take out bit with panels and take it out. The few people they select out of the panel, these people they are refined, they know about that particular topic, talk to them and find out what we need, right? Then it's a telephonic survey. These calls they are made on calls. Then you have, of course, surveys we send by mail. They ask you few questions, you reply them fine. Then SOAK surveys. Then these are also another type of survey which we go along with. So here we have some of the surveys. Now we'll be going through the duties for a person who is going to conduct the survey on the site related to civil engineering. Now, a person who is conducting a survey is known as a surveyor. He is usually a ITI holder, meaning he's got technical knowledge. If you are in India, you must be knowing that it is after the 12th standard, that is 10 plus 2. It's a course of about 2 years which deals with the surveying methods, and he takes out different types of surveys now pertaining to, of course, land surveying only. And what he determines is the position of the land, what in the land, surveying the land and preparing a 3D map, right? Then using advanced software, he also uses AutoCAD, and his is the main task of a survey. Now, what are the basics principles of surveying? Now, the basic principles of surveying always work for the whole part. Whenever you're doing, you have to complete the part. It's a road, you have to go right to the end. To locate a new station, at least two stations for measurements. Minimum you require two stations. Then you need linear and angular measurements as well. Then you have to have a reference point along with it. And there are certain stations which should be closed. They are known as traverse. And you have a station. This control station is supposed to be the reference point from where you start your surveying work, right? So, the main objectives of surveying in short: prepare a map with all the data that you have collected, then find the respective positions and points of the object located on the surface of the earth. You put it down on a map, and this is we are going to read the map. It includes the level, it includes the angle, it includes even the horizontal and vertical distances. They can be used for railways, canals, building, roads. Of course, both are created at a particular or a suitable scale, right? So, these are some of the duties of a surveyor, a person who forms or performs surveying at the field work. This is also done by diploma engineers over here in India, and they are very efficient and they are well technically trained, right? So it's very important that these data should be collected, and these data, after being collected, they are put onto the records of the particular department or the particular agency on behalf of whom we are working. So now we'll talk about the traversing method, which is vastly being used in the method of surveying. And you can go through it. I'll just be pointing out some of the key points of it. You can just read it through, and as such, we'll go through all these methods in the future, whether it be traversing, whether it be finding the height, the elevation, the point determination, the angle, the distance, or anything that is related to taking the dimensions and observing the next point for our survey. So, one of the words that are being used over here is geodesy. It means relating to geological conditions, right? So, when we talk about geological conditions, it means ups, downs, angles, and everything. Then, involving placing station along a line, and we are going to observe the next point with its reference of the previous one. That is the first point we are going to keep as a benchmark and take the next point with reference to the first point. Then what else do we do here? Involves recording details of land area. So this is all that we are having over here. We also require GPS data, and you'll be surprised to know that surveying is at a very advanced stage. We have instruments, and with that help of that, we can even monitor a particular in a particular zone or a particular angle. We can find how many uh, satellites we have in that area. Then the categories is fact finding, descriptive, detailed one. Then we have the trigonometrical leveling of survey. Then what is that? Trigonometrical leveling. It is the difference between two levels that we take out from 2 points, right? Similarly, we can find the top of the building and chimneys and churches, or rather the height of them, right? So we can find it out from there. And finally, in the slide is the my logo or the block where you have the details on the block. You'll get all the slide which I have talked about right now on this block. You can go and access it and download it and keep it to yourself. So I hope I have been able to explain you the basics and the reasoning of doing survey related to civil engineering. So I hope I've been able to explain well enough. Well, there can be still certain points that have been left out, and please go through it and do mention and give me your views so that I can improve upon them. And my particular purpose is practical. So I hope you will enjoy the next slide as well. So coming back to our survey, that is land surveying, which we'll be talking about in these videos as a subject. So just a brief and a very simple introduction again, once again rather, is the scientific process of measuring the dimensions, right? We are going to measure the dimensions. It is the scientific process of measuring the dimensions of a particular area, right? Where on the earth's surface, including the horizontal distances, angles, elevation, that it means whether the surface is up or down or whatever it is, we go for that, and we know the elevations of it. And that is all we have in the that is all that we have in this video, and wishing you all the very best of luck. Thanks a lot for watching. Here again, once again, is my blog and the channel that you are watching. So, my best wishes to you, waiting for your reviews. Thank you very much.